Welcome to the Rich Report, a podcast with news and information on the world of startups. Today, my guest is from Semester at Sea. This is a education program, and Luke Jones is the chief of staff. So Luke, welcome to the show today.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me.
So Luke, I understand you're on a ship now, and we're here today to talk about something called Unreasonable at Sea. So why don't you tell us about your day job first before we get into your voyage?
All right. Well, I work for the Institute for Shipboard Education, which is a nonprofit that administers the Semester at Sea program. We've been around for, we're going on 50 years now. We're about to celebrate our 50th year anniversary. And during the course of those 50 years, we've sailed over 110 voyages that have gone all over the world, and we take students with us, anywhere between 400 to 700 college students on a ship around the world in about 107 days to anywhere between 10 to 12 different countries. And in the process, they are learning on the ship in classes with faculty who are living and teaching on board the ship, and then they're applying what they're learning in country as they arrive and spend anywhere between usually 3 to 6 days in a country doing a mix of activities related to their coursework, or they're doing their own independent travel, or they're doing trips that we help organize. So it's a pretty powerful learning experience, and we kind of hope that with this project we're working on, we kind of take that to even another level. So we're excited about it.
So I'm curious, Luke, what kind of majors are these guys? Are they these students? Are they international studies, or what are they learning about?
Yeah, so the students are taking classes that are really across the board, a range of different subject areas. We have over 90 different sections of courses that are taught by 30 faculty on board. And for the most part, I'd say they're liberal arts focused, but we teach a mix of everything from comparative religions to world history, international politics, business, commerce. We teach something for everybody. So we really we're open to all majors, and our main emphasis is on having the coursework be related to the itinerary and helping students really gain the most out of what we call comparative global education. That is being able to be exposed to a lot over the course of a semester and compare and contrast the various cultures, histories, political issues, and geographical regions that we're going to, so they can come back with a truly global perspective.
Wow, that sounds like a tremendous educational experience. I wish I would have known about that when I was in college 25 years ago. But so Luke, but we're here today to talk about entrepreneurship and this voyage called the Unreasonable at Sea. So what's the tie-in there?
Yeah, let me paint kind of a broad picture first before I kind of dive in and describing the project itself. We're seeing with our students who are coming on board for our voyages just a huge increase in students' awareness of some of the big issues that are out there right now, related to energy and poverty and hunger, and students want to do something about it. Our students are really interested in service projects, work projects that we organize during the course of our voyage that they can experience once we get into a country. But we need more, and students are just hungry for authentic engagement with communities, and they want to understand what communities are facing around the world, and they want to do something about it. And so we've seen several of our alumni come off of our own voyage and go on to start their own social ventures, or they go on to start a nonprofit, or they go work for a company or an organization that has a real social arm to it in looking at community engagement or something like that. So we kind of sat back and said, this is happening just through the course of our voyage. What would it look like if we did something even more intentional around social entrepreneurship? And around the same time, also was introduced to one of our alums, Daniel Epstein, who's been running the Unreasonable Institute out of Boulder, Colorado. And what they've been doing for the past 3-4 years is bringing a group of international social entrepreneurs who are really trying to accelerate the success and the growth of their ventures that are all addressing major social issues. He brings them to Boulder, Colorado for 6 weeks, and they live there together. a group of 25 of them. They bring mentors in. They introduce them to venture capitalists, to investors, to a whole range of people that are really designed to just take their business to the next level. And he really kind of based a lot of the philosophical approach to that institute on his own experience on Semester at Sea. And so we thought, well, wouldn't it be a great opportunity for both the entrepreneurs and for our students if we could combine these two things on a voyage on Semester at Sea? And so that's really what led us to explore and then eventually create Unreasonable at Sea. So the basic structure of Unreasonable at Sea is we're taking team members from 11 different companies on board our ship, and they're going to be living on the ship and learning on the ship along with our students. They're going to be mentored by 20 different mentors who are going to be joining throughout the voyage. Some will stay for 2 to 3 weeks. Some will stay for 1 to 2 weeks. Just kind of depends, but they'll be coming on and off the voyage to work with the entrepreneurs in the same way that they would have in the at the Unreasonable Institute in Boulder, Colorado, only this will take place on our ship and then also in the countries of call that we are stopping in. And that's going to take place over the course of the voyage, a little over 100 days. And so the basic idea, though, is that these entrepreneurs are going to be on board the ship, and they're going to be learning from these mentors. They're going to have a chance when they stop in these various countries to really take their products, their solutions, their business to new markets. And so that's really what they're looking to do. And these businesses, for the most part, all have a technology focus to them, and they're really designed to combat some of the greatest challenges of our time: global warming, famine, poverty, access to clean drinking water, education, issues around global health. And, they all are driven by this fundamental belief that entrepreneurship, that business solutions can solve these problems. And what we want to do is help them in the course of the voyage bring their new technologies to new international markets and really plug into the entrepreneurial ecosystem of each one of the countries. And so we want to introduce them to investors. We want to introduce them to the political leaders. We want to introduce them to government leaders. We want to have them have the opportunity to interact and engage with new customers, to prototype, to test. And over the course of this 100-day voyage, we're going to be stopping in 14 different port cities with these different 11 companies, our students, and with the mentors. And they're going to basically be using their time with these investors and politicians and business people to get funding, to break into new markets, and get feedback on their ideas so that they can continue to improve. And the mentors are going to be with them throughout this whole trip to really help them maximize those opportunities. So as they're interacting with customers and with potential investors, they're going to really be helping these entrepreneurs be prepared to pitch, to make the most of their opportunities in the country. And so there's going to be a whole host of people on board the ship to help support this project of Unreasonable at Sea. There's going to be a media team. There's a team of us from Semester at Sea. And then some of the key kind of people involved, obviously, is Daniel Epstein, who, as I mentioned, is the founder of the Unreasonable Institute and is co-founder of Unreasonable at Sea. And he's also a Semester at Sea alum, so he really gets and understands the nature of what it is that we do. And then George Kemble, who's a faculty member and director of Stanford's D School, and he'll be teaching a course, which I'll talk about here in a second, and has really been kind of the brains around the educational aspect of what we're doing on board the voyage with our students and with the entrepreneurs. And then myself, just from the standpoint that I've really been working with George and Daniel to just help get this thing started, and then just relying on a huge team of people back at our home office to make this happen. So we're excited about it, and really excited to have Daniel and George join us for the voyage. Just to give you kind of an overview of the companies, I won't walk through all of the companies. There's a website where, if people are interested, they can jump on unreasonableatsea.com, and they can take a look more in depth at the different companies and what they do. but we're going to have 11 different companies from all over the world, and we've really tried to select through a rigorous selection process that Daniel designed and implemented, tried to get representation from the countries on our itinerary, because we really want students to be exposed to the issues that these entrepreneurs are dealing and grappling with and solving in their own communities. And so that was important to us. But they represent 10 countries on 5 continents, and they're all dedicated to solving social and environmental issues. And they've proven successful already at some level, and so we're really focused on helping them grow to expand into new markets. And these companies include some of just the names really quick for you. Aquaphytex, which is focused on providing clean water through plants. Proti is a wind-powered, shape-shifting kind of drone robot that cleans up oceans. We've got a efficient and clean fuel stove company, Prakti Design, which is feeding 250,000 people daily with their stoves. We've got a couple of other really cool projects, the Solar Ear, which is the world's first digitally programmable and rechargeable hearing aid. We've got Sasa, which is a text-based e-commerce company that connects offline artisans to consumers directly, so it takes out the middleman. So there's a whole host that if people are interested, they can go and look on more, but they're just really exciting companies that have the potential to impact millions of people, and so we really want to accelerate and help them do that. Let me just give you a quick overview of the mentors who are going to be joining us. We've got 20 of the world's most prominent innovators and entrepreneurs. Just a quick highlight, Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who was instrumental in the ending of apartheid in South Africa. He's a Nobel Peace Laureate and serves on our board here at Semester at Sea. Sailed with us a couple of times. He'll be joining us. Megan Smith, who's the VP of Business Development at Google. Matt Mullenweg, the founder of WordPress. Hunter Levins, Time Magazine Hero of the Planet. Scott Balskis, co-founder and CEO of Behance. We have the Prince Fahad Al-Saud, and he's going to be joining us from, he's a serial entrepreneur and philanthropist, and he led Facebook's U.S. Arab operations. We've got Jigar Shah, who is the founder of Sun Edison and CEO of the Carbon War Room. Kathy Rogers, who serves here on our alumni board of directors as part of the Parents Council. She's the VP of Global Business Development at IBM. So, I mean, those are just a few highlights. Again, if you go to the website, you'll see all the mentors who are joining us, but these people are really coming on to both work with the entrepreneurs, help them accelerate their business, and then also be interacting with our students. So I kind of like to get into a little bit more on what we're doing on the Semester at Sea educational side, because I think it's a really important piece of this project. You know, as I mentioned, Semester at Sea has been around for, now we're going on our 50th year, and our mission is to educate individuals with the global understanding necessary to address the challenges of our independent world. What does that mean? I mean, that means during the course of our voyage, we want to both expose students to what are the issues of the world that we're currently facing today in the various communities. We want to get them hands-on experience, and what Unreasonable at Sea allows us to do is to let these students team up with these entrepreneurs and both gain insight and hands-on experience, understanding and learning what it means to start a company, and then furthermore what it means to start a social enterprise and some of the challenges that these guys are facing, as well as, you know, some of their successes and how they can be successful. So for our students, it's just an incredible learning opportunity to be able to live and learn with these entrepreneurs over the course of 100-plus days, as well as the mentors. And the real linchpin in linking these two different groups is the course that's taught by George Kimball, who is teaching a course on social entrepreneurship using his design methodology out of Stanford's D School that he's been practicing and teaching and preaching for so long. And it'll be a course of about 90 students who will be broken down into teams, and those teams will pair up with the various entrepreneurs on board our ship. And they'll be really using those entrepreneurs as a living case study to apply what they're learning in their class and actually see it in practice, both on the ship with mentors, and then also in the field as they travel in the countries that these entrepreneurs are from, really seeing the issues up front and close, being able to listen to the people who are being impacted in the communities by the company's work, and then also get a real sense of what might be the possibilities after this voyage is over. If they want to go on and they're passionate about a particular issue, maybe it's access to renewable energy, and that's something they want to pursue. Unreasonable at Sea, this core semester at sea, gives them the opportunity to really act as a launching pad for their career, so they can go on and get an amazing internship or get a job or start their own venture. So that's kind of the overview for us on the educational side of what we're doing with Unreasonable at Sea, and we're really excited about it. The itinerary for the voyage, we're going to be leaving from Ensenada. We'll take on all of our students down in Ensenada, Mexico on the 9th. We're going to be visiting Japan, China, Vietnam, Singapore, Burma, India, Mauritius, South Africa, Ghana, Morocco, and then we'll finally end in Spain. And along the way, as I mentioned, these entrepreneurs in each one of those countries and those communities are going to have the opportunity to really interact with the people who can help take their business to scale, and then and penetrate new markets. And then our students are going to also have the opportunity to learn alongside of them as they do that. And so the trip will wrap up with a celebratory event in Barcelona on April 25th. If folks are interested in learning more about the companies, the mentors, or about Semester at Sea, here's a few links that folks can go out and explore. And we just welcome anybody who's interested in learning more to explore that and to contact us if they'd like more information.
Well, great, Luke. Thanks for that. It's this looks like a tremendous program, but I was looking at your map, your tour of the world here. This looks really expensive to sail around 2/3 of the planet. So how do you fund this thing?
Yeah, great question. So as part on the Semester at Sea side, what we're really bringing to the table is the space on our ship. So in terms of the overall project itself, we're basically providing the room, board, space here on the ship and maximizing our biggest asset, which is our ship, as well as just the intellectual capacity here of our faculty and our staff. And then on the Unreasonable side of things, is they're working to build out what they're doing in the countries, bringing the mentors on board, flying in the entrepreneurs. What they're doing is they're actually reaching out to foundations, companies, organizations who are interested in experiencing this project with us. And so they've been making investments in the program to send representatives from their companies, from their foundations here to live and learn with us on the ship. So those are called our learning partners. And those are going to be some kind of top people at these various foundations and companies who are going to be joining us to really just walk alongside the project, sit in on the class, to be there with the workshops, with the mentors. Many of these are seasoned and accomplished business people in their own right, so they'll also be working with our entrepreneurs. And so that's basically the funding model. There's a few sponsors in there as well, but mostly it's through the learning partners. And of course, we're just pulling this off like first time around, really, I guess, bootstrapping it, as you might say, and trying to do it pretty lean and mean as far as our costs actually to pull the program off. I think we could spend a lot more, obviously, but I think we're doing our best on a first go-around to keep it pretty reasonable. So that, in essence, is how the project is funded.
Sure. So, I'm curious, Luke, when you meet with these people from these other countries, what do they bring to the table besides just a different perspective and a lot of really challenging problems?
Yeah, so what Daniel and his team are doing to arrange these different activities in port is really trying to focus in on what brings the most benefit to the companies that we're working with. So in that way, I think having only 11 companies allows them to really tailor some of the experiences. But the basic idea is that if one of these companies is a mobile company and they're interested in expanding into China, then what they're going to be looking to do is bringing in the people who work in that field and in that space to come and talk about what would be the barriers of entry, what would that look like, how would they actually make it happen. So the activities are both a mix of pitching, and trying to get interest and investment, but also real practical, just logistic stuff of what are the barriers for entry into that market, and so bringing on experts in the related fields that can really help them do that. So over a few days, the entrepreneurs will have these different types of activities that they're going to be engaged in that are really designed to bring them the most impact, depending on the uniqueness of their own company, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. So I've looked at the program here. I just envy your job here, Luke, but I see one thing missing. It seems to me you need a journalist to come along and document all this.
Right. Yeah. Well, we're working on that. So we've actually got a team of 12 media professionals on board who are going to be blogging, videoing. We're going to be capturing. We do what we call mentor interviews. So we'll have a series of interviews with all the mentors that we'll be posting, and really just we're trying to document this experience because it is a huge experiment. To my knowledge, I don't know that anything has ever been tried like this before. And so we're really trying to figure out what works, to build on it, to learn, to make it better. And then we also want to use it as an opportunity to help others understand outside of just Semester at Sea, what these companies are doing and what other individuals themselves can do if they're interested in working in a social venture or starting something. And so, that's one of our goals too, is to take this outside the walls of Semester at Sea and really open it up to the world. So in that way, I would invite anybody who wants to follow along to be checking out our blog, our website, and if other folks are interested in reporting, definitely be in touch with us. And, along the way, would love to help raise the exposure of the program. So I'll work on seeing if we have a spare cabin somewhere for you if that's how you're implying. Hopefully you don't get seasick, but I'll have to see on that.
Yeah, I don't think I could make your maiden voyage, but I'm thinking next time I would love to apply for that opportunity. So I want to thank you for telling us about this, and I'm just wondering if there's a call to action. If people like myself are interested and they want to go on a trip like this, will there be a second one? Do you know yet, or what's going to happen?
Well, in a large way, that's what we're trying to determine as we do this, is with an eye towards not just when, but when could we pull this off in another iteration of Unreasonable at Sea? And so, definitely that's something we want to do, is to have a sustained and ongoing program on social entrepreneurship that brings real-world mentors and entrepreneurs on our ship, and that also is an opportunity for them to use it and grow their own businesses. What that looks like in the future, it will depend in large part on how this goes with the spring voyage. So maybe we move it to a fall voyage in the future. Maybe it stays where it is, and it's a year from now we do another one. But I guess if you're looking for a call to action, I would say look at Semester at Sea and be in touch with us. There's ways to apply to go on a voyage as a lifelong learner through our program, and then also as a media specialist, there's ways to be engaged with Unreasonable at Sea as an investor, as a mentor, and just as a partner who brings some ideas to the table. So I think there's a couple of different ways to plug in and get involved with Unreasonable at Sea and with Semester at Sea.
Terrific. Well, Luke Jones, I want to thank you once again for coming on the show today.
Yeah, thanks very much. I really enjoyed it and appreciate you taking the time.
You bet, you bet. All right, folks, that's it for the Rich Report. Stay tuned for more news and information on the world of startups.